What's up, everybody? Thanks for listening to the Whatcast. Mike, there's something that I've wanted to cover that I've almost trying to been cover. I got a book a while ago about giants existing with modern day mankind, and that's what we were going to cover tonight. We will get to it, but we were talking about it, and how do I say this delicately? There's somebody that I want to get on that knows a lot about that subject.
It's been a while since we've had a guest on the show.
Yeah.
It's been a long fucking while.
Yeah, I think this would be a worthwhile guest. He's got a really cool Oparts museum of all these crazy examples of timelines being wrong, but he gets a little religious with it. And you had mentioned that there's a lot of people who study the whole giant stuff that their motivation is religion, and I kind of found that funny. I was like, what a weird path to choose to like fortify your religion.
It really is. Like, I don't necessarily think that that's like the sole purpose for, but it's one of those things, like, if you can prove one of the more fantastic aspects of the Bible as being real, then you can make a case for the rest of the fantastic aspects. Because, right. I mean, in the Bible, we're seeing the whole thing about the Nephilim and the giants, and if we have proof that giants did exist, and not only that they existed, but they existed at the same time as mankind, then that proves something that's completely crazy that's coming from the Bible. And then you can be like, well, look, the Bible said right here that there were giants that lived among people during this time period, and here we've got a skeleton or what have you, or that's being covered up, and it's being covered up because it's proof that the Bible is real. And if there's giants that existed with humans, then we can look back at the Bible and it's right at this time period, and as a result, this and this is true, and then you just kind of spiral out from there.
Right, and that's kind of where our conversation led to. I made the comment of it, like, maybe you should stick with like old text, or maybe even like geological stuff, and like keep it to stuff that's more reality based. Why cover, like, be the guy who has the giants corner covered. I'm not knocking him for being a religious person at all, anything. To me, it's fascinating that that's those two things are linked together. And you had made the comment of, fuck that, let's get weird with like biblical research. Where's the impact site for when Lucifer was cast from?
Yeah.
That was such a cool line. I was like, dude, I wonder if anybody,
because in the original story, he was cast to earth. He wasn't cast to hell. He was sent from heaven and cast down to earth.
Yeah.
So where's the goddamn impact site? Did Lucifer kill the dinosaurs? I need to know.
Holy shit. Did you just make a lot of people rethink their whole religion?
Doubt it. But maybe they're rethinking the extinction of the dinosaurs instead.
Well, that got me thinking, and we only researched this today, but to me it was a lot of fun. It gave me the idea to cover maybe strange religious artifacts that's been recovered. And I found a lot of really, really interesting stuff. How about you, Mike?
Well,
sorry, I know what you're going to talk about, so I know why we got the long pause.
Yeah, I got something interesting to talk about. Sure.
We'll leave it there. Well, the first thing we're going to talk about. Well, the first person we're going to talk about is a lady named Maria Coquetessa della Okay.
You're making shit up now.
No, I'm not. Maria Cocafrisa. Okay. Cocafrisa.
Okay.
Della Concessioni. Fuck. I have it typed out like phonetically for myself too.
Could you also put a stereotypical Italian accent on that, please? And thank you.
No.
If I had to do a shitty German accent, it's the least you can do. Come on.
All right. Maria Cocafrisa della Concessioni.
There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, she was a 31-year-old nun who lived at the convent of Palma di Montichiaro. God, see that? I'm going to say that wrong again. Palma Monte di Chiaro. in the 17th century Sicily, Italy.
You know what? If I could just interrupt for a second.
Yeah.
European listeners must fucking hate us. They're like,
yeah.
the whole time we're stumbling over shit. They're like, you dumb motherfuckers. It's not that difficult. And you're probably right. We're just dumb motherfuckers. But I think it's so funny every time we cover something from fucking, like, whether it be French or Italian or like Russian, like, we just butcher the shit out of it. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that we do that.
We really try. Most of the times we fumble out of nerves. I will never forget, we had a guest on, and he had not a strange last name, but just a unique last name, we'll say. And me and Mike were talking like a half hour before the show. It was a big show for us. And I said this last name, and I said his last name, and you're like,
I remember coaching you.
You're like, no, dude, it's this. And I'm like, are you sure? And you're like, it's this. I'm like, okay, it's this, it's this, it's this. And he comes on, I'm like,
we start out right out the gate wrong.
Yeah, I was like, everybody, it's blah, blah, blah. And he's like, actually, I was like, fucking Mike. So we really do try. It's not, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people in other countries like, I know how to say Chicago, you fucking pricks. Well,
good on you for knowing how to say Chicago, because people here barely even know how to Chicago. Hey.
But her life was well documented. She's an actual person who actually existed. Funny enough, I really liked this story, so I really wanted to dig into it. And at first, this story was just about a nun. And then I was able to find her birth name. It was Isabella Tomasi. And that she entered the convent when she was 15 years old. And then I find she's an ancestor to future famed writer and nobleman Don Giuseppe Tomasi di Lampedusa. And he was the Prince of Lampedusa, which was a minor title given to Sicilian nobility. The Duke of Palama, Palama, and the Grandee of Spain.
Paloma?
No, it's Palama, Palama. And the Grandee of Spain, which is another aristocratic title. And then I found out that she's actually the daughter of a dude, a Prince Giulio Tomasi di Lampedusa. Again, not royalty, just a minor title giving to Sicilian nobility. So she comes from very fancy, important people. Her life was very well documented. This is supported by other people who wrote about this as well. So she was well known and liked by all the sisters that she met. People who visited her convent, they all liked her. She was well liked. Everything was going good for Maria. Everything was all normal and nunny until August 11th, 1676. Poor Maria snapped out of a dead sleep only to find herself on the floor, that she had been splattered with ink. And I saw multiple sources use that word. You'd figure if it looked like she had made a messy job of writing it, the ink stains would be on her hands, her wrist. It would look as such. But the sources say that her face was covered in ink. So we'll go with splattered. And that she was holding a freshly written note in her hand. This note comprised of 14 lines of jumbled, unknown symbols, letters, and images. So she ran to her superiors and showed them what she had. And she had said to pretty much everybody there that the letter was written by Satan himself through possession and had tried to lure her away from God and lead her away from the church. Now, in 1676... don't you think that was a little bit risky to run and tell your superiors?
Well, so this is a story I'm familiar with. To me, it seems like she was probably she probably suffered with schizophrenia, and I think it freaked her out. And to me, it seems like she's feeling guilt for her schizophrenia. But I'm getting ahead of the story.
No, it's interesting you mentioned schizophrenia, actually, and I've come ready for a couple counters for your it's not paranoid.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, nobody was able to recognize any of this writing. So I guess she might be lucky they did burn her at the stake. But I mean, they couldn't, right? She comes from basically a famous family, so maybe that's what protected her. Now there are some writings about Maria after the event by a sister who witnessed it. her name was Abbess Maria Serafica. Now, I've seen her described as sister and mother. So she may have been a sister when this happened.
And then got promoted.
Yeah. But she wrote, quote, on the 11th of August in 1676, the sisters noticing that while the ninth was being recited in the choir, Sister Maria was absent. So leaving promptly to see what she had, they found her seated on the ground with the left half face all smeared with very black ink. Over her dinocha, she had a cabamajo with a pen, and under her left hand an open note, but of illegible character. She showed great difficulty in breathing, and how severe suffering she had inside. And she wrote a bunch about this, far too much for me to read here, but I'll put it in the show notes. But she states that Maria gets a blessing and no other strange things happen. No signs of schizophrenia. Nothing else paranormal happens to her. So nobody can read this note. No one can even tell if it's a real language for fucking 400 years until 2017, when the director of the Ludum Science Museum in Catania, province of Sicily, Daniel Abate, announced that the letter had finally been deciphered, funny enough, using code cracking programs obtained from the dark web. Did you know that, Mike?
I did not know that. I knew that it had finally been deciphered, but I did not know it was from the dark web.
Yeah, apparently, I mean, we wouldn't know, but over there, I mean, they bring out this note every year, and it's not a forgotten thing over there. So these guys were working on it, and the results are as freaky as you'd hope. They found that the letter was written in a new vocabulary, mixed with words and letters from Greek, Latin, Arabic, and even runic. Now, Mike, what the fuck is runic for people who don't know?
It's the Norse runes.
So, I mean, that's really fucking old shit we're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, I tried my damnedest to find the full translation, but can only find snippets quoted by Abate in interviews. He said that the note said that the Holy Trinity was dead weight, and that God thinks he can save mortals, and the system works for no one. But he also mentioned that by the writings and how jumbled they are, that she might have suffered from schizophrenia, like you said. So I have some questions for you, because I love this case. Very little can either make or break this case for me. Do you think somebody with schizophrenia would be able to comprise a note in 4 different ancient fucking mostly forgotten languages?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Just because you're schizophrenic doesn't take away any knowledge that you may have gleaned. And like I was talking about earlier, it's been well documented that she studied exclusively religion and mythology. And as a nun, she would have definitely known Latin. Depending on what she was working with, it's likely that she would have also known Greek, because a lot of the texts had to have been translated from Greek to Latin. Arabic, that could also be a language that she at least, and again, it doesn't necessarily mean that she was fluent in all these languages. She could have just known certain phrases or certain words and kind of strung them together. And maybe that's why it's so disjointed, because she only knew like certain words in certain languages. So she, I feel like if this was a demonic possession, that was trying to get, like, why would it create a cipher, and why would it use multiple different languages and disjointed form of speech? Like, to me, that seems like nonsense that a manic schizophrenic would pull together, rather than some calculating demon who's trying to turn a faithful woman away from God. I think they would be a lot more compelling, maybe a lot more seductive, not necessarily sexually seductive, but, in its attempts to get the nun away from God. You know, it's not just going to be like, I'm going to take you over and write a bunch of hoogity boogity stuff in a book and cover you in ink, and boom, now you're possessed by a demon. Now, you know, fuck God. That's not how it's going to work. And I think because of the nonsensical nature of it, to me, that seems more in line with someone going through an episode of, and I don't necessarily want to say it was schizophrenia. Maybe it was like multiple personality disorder. Who knows? This was like 500 years ago, and at that point in time, if you displayed any sort of fucking craziness that or I don't even want to call it craziness, but anything that wasn't considered normal, then very likely it was the devil that was residing within you. And the only thing to do with those sorts of people is burn them alive at the stake or torture them until they confess to being possessed by the devil. So you know, they're very loving people, those Middle Age and Renaissance Catholics.
Well, see, for me, I mean, isn't that how demons are supposed to talk? Crooked, backwards, different languages. I mean, it's in tons of different writings.
You say that's how they're supposed to talk, but this is based on reported demonic possession cases in Catholic history. So, and again, like I was just saying, any sort of person who's got some sort of mental illness is going to be considered possessed by the devil. So you're going to have schizophrenics or people with multiple personality or people that are bipolar saying some fucking off-kilter shit. And it's like, oh, fuck, that's a goddamn demon in there. No, it's not. It's chemicals in my brain that's making me fucking reactive a certain way. I'm sorry that you are too ignorant to know that and think that I'm possessed by the devil instead. Stop it, you middle ages people. Just fuck off.
I don't know. I don't buy the schizophrenia stuff. I think that her age, it's a little late for schizophrenia to set in that bad. And then,
but maybe she was just, maybe this was like a thing, because you're right, at that age that is very late to have an onset of, but what if maybe it was early onset dementia?
Well, for her to recover completely and live like a completely normal life after that. I mean, the one question that breaks this case for me is a woman in the 1600s who's been brought up in a convent going to know 4 ancient languages well enough to create a new vocabulary with them, even if she was highly educated before she entered the convent. She would learn those languages before the age of 15, retain that knowledge until she was 31, and then write that note.
Well, it's not a thing of again, she's in a convent, so there's definitely going to be a library there, and there's definitely going to be religious texts. And at that period in time, we're still getting religious texts translated. You know, like there's going to be Greek texts there. There's going to be Arabic texts.
Are those going to be in just any convent, though? I mean, the 17th century convent in Italy, Latin, I'll give you that. And she most likely would have been learning, practicing, speaking, reading, and writing it from the day she entered that convent, in my opinion.
Right.
Latin, I'll give you that. But Arabic, runic, I highly doubt they're keeping runic books inside of random convents.
The runic is questionable, but that could have been picked up through study in mythology. Like, I'm 100% confident, based just on the books that I have right here in my library, if I wanted to put together fucking nonsense, create my own alphabet, and then use different languages to communicate these disjointed thoughts, I could do that 100% without even using the internet, just using classic books that I have right now in my library right here.
And then have 15 years to work on it.
Yeah. I mean, you give me a night, you say, I need a letter from the devil by morning, and I'll put it together, no problem.
You should put that on like Etsy, like a service on Fiverr.
Yeah, do you need a devil-possessed letter? Let me know and I will do it for you. $20 per language.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, if it's not some type of possession, it's got to be the fucking freakiest case of auto writing ever recorded. To be written in 4 different ancient languages, 3 of them, I don't think this lady has any business knowing. I don't think. I mean, even in that time, dude, I'm sure if they had those books there, they were reserved for like the dude who runs the fucking place or other men that frequent that place or use the library. I don't think they'd be letting the ladies even read stuff as old as Arabic and Runic. Latin for sure. Greek maybe. I don't think they're doing the translating, to be honest. I don't think there'd be a reason for Greek books to be there. I think that what they're learning in the 1600s is going to be very, very fucking controlled from the Catholic Church. I don't know if they're going to have a bunch of Arabic scripts in there.
I don't know. I could definitely see Arabic stuff being there. Maybe even a copy of the Quran. Who knows?
Yeah.
And at that time, the Quran definitely would have been written in Arabic.
Right.
And it's not like Arabic is a fucking like a mystery language at the time, like this was after the fucking there had been like 12,000 crusades at this point,
Yeah.
So I don't really think that Arabic to me the biggest question is Runic, but you could, if she's not actually writing in Runic script, she's writing in this own symbolic language that she created or whatever, then all she would have to know is phrases in Runic and then represent them in her own way. And that's not that difficult to do. I'm not convinced of the demonic nature of this case.
I find it interesting. I think that with today, like you said, these are known languages, and I think it would be for her to do that. Then I think is insane for her to. Because she there's a section where she talks about the river Styx, and that's a whole complete line written in Runic. But there's the fact that these are.
But that's the thing. So River Styx is written in Runic. But the river Styx is Greek mythology. And why, if you're a demon, why would you be talking about the river Styx from Greek mythology if you are a Christian demon, for lack of a better term? Like, you are a demon in Christian mythology, so why are you referencing Greek mythology as a result? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Very true. I still find it strange that these 4 languages have been well known well before 2017, and she had written it so jumbled and made this new vocabulary so crazy that we couldn't even tell it was these 4 languages without a fucking black market computer code.
Yeah,
breaker.
Yeah, directly from the dark web.
Yeah,
but to me, it's like one of those things. Like, we still haven't translated the Voynich manuscript. Like, that's still unknown, and that's fucking bonkers, man.
I thought that I read somewhere that the best guess is that it's a book on gardening, basically.
Well, they were able to figure out, like, based on the illustrations, they broke it up, and there's a part on herbalism, there's a part on biology, and I think there's a thing in the back that's like recipes or something. I don't know. It's fucking weird, man. It's such a weird thing that it still hasn't been solved after all this time.
Yeah. All right, so Mike, do you want to explain your hesitating pause at the beginning of the show when we talked about what you're going to cover?
I'm going to talk about the holiest of holies, Mateo.
Ooh, that can mean one of 2 things.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the Ark of the Covenant or the original Temple of Israel. Nothing like that. I'm talking about a real, authentic piece of the Messiah's dick.
I was wondering how you were going to intro that.
Yeah.
Okay. When we were pulling sources for this episode, I had sent Mike some stuff, and I didn't catch this one. So when I was looking this stuff up, second sourcing stuff, I was like, "Holy shit, this is real!" So there's supposedly a piece of Jesus's pecker floating around.
There's multiple throughout
Oh,
history. There has been multiple foreskins attributed to Jesus.
wow!
No, I know some of you might be asking, but why would Jesus' foreskin be hanging around? And that's a very good question. For those that aren't aware, let me relate some Jewish tradition for you. So in Jewish tradition, all boys are required by Jewish law to be circumcised on the 8th day following their birth. And this follows this tradition is why Jesus was circumcised. There's even a Christian feast day. It was originally called the Feast of the Circumcision of Christ, which is celebrated on January 1st.
Oh, calm down.
The name has since been changed. It's still everything about the feast day is still like, so I say feast day. It's not like an actual like big celebration where there's a feast. Martyrs and saints and certain events in the Christian story, or I guess more specifically Catholics, they're all attributed a feast day. And basically what that means is in the context of the Mass itself is like celebrating this event or this person. And typically the readings would be reflective of whatever the feast day is. So this was a feast day to celebrate the circumcision of Jesus Christ. Now, sure, he was, we all know that he was Jewish, so it would make sense that he was circumcised. But you might be wondering, as I myself wondered several times while researching this, why the fuck would anyone keep the foreskin of a baby before they know that he is the Messiah? Like, what kind of creeper are you? Where you're like, you know what? This is a really fucking sweet foreskin. I'm going to put it in a box, keep it in mint condition.
Wait 20 years and say it was Jesus.
Yeah. So there is actually some precedent for this story, but not in the actual canonical Bible. It's in the Apocrypha. There's a book called the Arabic Infancy Gospel, and it's a New Testament writing that basically centers on the infancy of Jesus. For those that don't know about the story of Jesus in the Bible you get the story of his birth, then a story of when he was a child, and then nothing until he's like in his 30s. So there's this huge chunk of space. You don't get really anything about him as a baby past the nativity story. And so this apocryphal book was supposed to be the story of him as a baby, but there are some lines in this book specifically that describes the event of his circumcision. So I'm going to read through, it's 4 verses, and this is biblical writing, so it's fucking weird and shit, but the story goes, "And when the time of his circumcision was come, namely the 8th day, on which the law commanded the child to be circumcised, they circumcised him in a cave. And the old Hebrew woman took the foreskin and preserved it in an alabaster box of old oil of spikenard. And she had a son who was a druggist, to whom she said, Take heed thou sell not this alabaster box of spikenard ointment, although thou shouldest be offered 300 pence for it. Now this is the alabaster box which Mary the sinner procured, and poured forth the ointment out of upon the head and feet of our Lord Jesus Christ, and wiped it off with the hairs of her hand." So, for those that didn't pick up on it or aren't aware of the story, Mary Mary Magdalene, who they're here referring to as Mary the sinner, she anointed Jesus's head and feet with oil when he was an adult. So apparently, according to this book, she used the oil that was preserving his dick skin to then anoint him.
I did catch that.
So, good stuff. But, like, I just can't believe we've come to this where I'm talking about the cock of Christ on the Whatcast.
Well, I mean, it's coveted, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of kissing stuff that goes on in that religion.
Oh my God.
What if you're presented with the pee-pee tip of Christ?
Yeah. Kiss the cock of Christ.
I bet there's thousands who have as like some type of like some. They present it. They come up to it, do the sign of something, and
yeah. It's just to me, it's so weird that someone would believe that they would, because why would someone keep a baby's foreskin that didn't know that he was, like, it'd be one thing if it was like, all right, this guy's clearly the Messiah. But like, even if his parents are like, no, seriously, you're circumcising the Son of God. It's like, oh shit, I better be extra careful with that thing. That's the Son of God's dick. But like, think about it from like, you're just your regular rabbi or whatever going circumcising babies, and someone comes up to you and it's like, hey, you remember that Messiah that was prophesied in the Old Testament? Well, this baby's that. You're going to be like, okay, I'm sure he is. Right. And then think, basically circumcise the baby, go about your day thinking that those parents are fucking batshit. Not be like, oh, it's this baby is the Messiah. Let me protect the fucking foreskin of the Messiah because this is going to have so much meaning in the future when, he's done Messiahing. Like, that wouldn't even make sense because according to the prophecy, like the Messiah is supposed to lead the chosen people to the Holy Land. Like he's the fucking anointed one. He's the warrior of the faith, man. Why would you be like, we need to preserve his penis? I don't fucking know. But for some reason, this was a thing that people believed. And in the Middle Ages, multiple foreskin relics started to appear. The earliest recorded one was a Christmas present in the year 800 that Charlemagne gave to Pope Leo III when he was being crowned emperor. And he's like, I am emperor, so here, Pope, now that I'm emperor, now I will give you the dick of Jesus. Well, the dick skin of Jesus. Here you go. And Charlemagne actually claimed that an angel gave it to him when he prayed at the Holy Sepulchre, and the angel came down and it's like, oh, here's the dick of Christ. And then, he humbly accepts the dick skin because for some reason the angel had it. Who knows why? And why he was like, of all the things you could present of Jesus, like here is his crown of thorns, or, here is his beard. No, here's his dick skin. Have fun with that, buddy.
Yeah, what a weird thing to I mean, if you told me that and I was alive then, I'd be like, hold on. That's how do we know this is Jesus? Like, how does that get pushed into tradition?
Here's another question that I would like to ask. If this story was not true and an angel did not in fact give Charlemagne the withered dick skin of baby Jesus, then exactly whose withered dick skin does Charlemagne have, and how is that obtained?
Yeah, I guess that's a weird one to buy.
Don't worry, because its authenticity was later confirmed.
What?
Yeah, it was confirmed when Saint Bridget of Sweden had a vision that the foreskin of God was in Rome.
Oh,
So that's all the confirmation you need. It's in Rome. Pope Leo's in Rome. Pope Leo's got the dick skin. Confirmation. Boom.
how do you do that? How do you bring that up? Look, I know today's a big day for you, and I'm so, so proud of you. I got something that I know you're going to love.
Yeah.
It's the tip snip of our Lord and Savior.
We removed the turtleneck from Christ, and here it is.
Oh my God, thank you.
You can wear it yourself now. Oh my God, was this really Jesus' turtleneck? I would like to wear that.
I've heard that there's multiple pieces of the foreskin, or at least multiple places that claim to have a piece.
Oh yeah, no, there's multiple places that have, and over time it's kind of gotten muddied. So this one that was allegedly given to Pope Leo, there was apparently Pope Leo, after he got this stuff, he commissioned this cypress chest to be built, and he put the chest under the altar in the chapel of St. Lawrence, and inside of that was 3 caskets. And in one of the caskets, there was a gold jeweled cross. And inside that gold jeweled cross is the foreskin and the umbilical cord of Jesus, because they also have the umbilical cord, apparently.
Oh.
Yes. So
Let's get them stem cells going, right?
I want to know where where Jesus' first diaper was. Why don't we have this?
Why aren't we kissing that thing?
But this version of the foreskin stayed in Rome until 1527, when someone stole it during the sack of Rome. It was apparently taken by a German soldier who stole it and took off to Calcutta, where he was later captured, and the house that was housing him and the foreskin became venerated, and it became a pilgrimage site. And the church even offered people a 10-year indulgence if they were to go there, which means an indulgence is basically time off for good behavior. So like instead of having to repent for however many years in order to get into heaven, you get 10 years off your repentance time. So good on you if you go to this place and acknowledge the foreskin of Jesus. But this foreskin that was housed here was apparently stolen by a local priest in 1983, and from there it's kind of gone away. But there were, throughout the Middle Ages, depending on the sources that you read, there were 8, 12, 14, or even in some cases 18 different holy foreskins that were in Europe during the Middle Ages.
Yowza.
Yeah. So there was the one that I was just talking about, but then there was one that's housed in the Cathedral of La Purin-Velay, one that's housed in Santiago, the Diocese of Chartres. Basically churches all over Europe. I'm not going to get into each individual church, but there's several different churches that claimed to have this. There was one of the more famous ones that it showed up in Antwerp in 1100, and it was given as a gift from King Baldwin of Jerusalem, who said that he bought it in Jerusalem during the First Crusade. And this became famous when the Bishop of Cambrai was celebrating a mass, when he saw drops of blood show up on the lines of linen that was on the altar. And so he constructed this special chapel in order to house pilgrims that wanted to come in and see the bloody altar linens and the foreskin of Jesus. And founded on this cathedral in 1426, they actually created like a semi-secret order called the Brotherhood of Our Beloved Lord Jesus Christ in Beloved Ladies Church of Antwerp. So, really, really catchy title, kind of snappy.
Got to make it stick, man.
But then in 1566, the foreskin disappeared. No one knows what happened to it. The chapel still exists, but the foreskin is gone. But we have another contender. The Abbey of Chiraut claimed that the famous foreskin that was given to Charlemagne, the other story that I was telling you was fake, and Charlemagne actually gave the foreskin to these monks in this Abbey of Chiraut. And it was this particular foreskin in the 12th century was taken to Rome, where it was presented before Pope Innocent III, and he was asked to make a decision on whether or not this was the authentic dick skin of Christ, but Pope Innocent declined and said, "Nah, not my jam. Not into discussing whether or not this particular dick skin is in fact the dick skin of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ." And good on Pope Innocent, because how the fuck's he going to be able to tell one foreskin from another, especially at this point, the 12th century. So we're talking 1,200 years from Christ's death. And he's like, you know what? It's an old foreskin. It basically looks like a small chunk of leather at this point. What do you want? I don't know.
I don't know what happens if I get this one wrong, so I'm going to pass.
Yeah. So at some point, like the other ones, this one disappeared, but this one showed up again in 1856.
Yay!
There was repair work going on at the Abbey, and while they were doing the work on it, they found this hidden area behind a wall, and in this hidden area was the missing foreskin of Jesus.
Could you imagine being the construction worker doing that job? You just bash it open and light shines out and someone goes, "You know what that is, don't you? You know what that is. That's a pee-pee of Christ."
Yeah. And how does one even determine that? Like, oh, I found this little fucking thing with a scrap of leather in it. My boy, that's no mere leather. That is the dick of Jesus.
I mean, it's gotta look like a chewed up piece of bubblegum by now, right?
Yeah. And it's probably fucking like a pale gray color and all gross looking.
Yeah, if I was digging it, I saw that, I'd be like, "Ew, what the fuck is that?" and kicked it away and got back to work.
Yeah, I honestly would have thought it would be like a scrap of some garment or something.
But little did you know, 'twas no button.
I wonder if you touch it, do you gain the ability to fuck like a god?
Oh, jeez.
Touch my dick and fuck like God.
There has to be some type of benefit to like this relic, right? They all have some type of benefit, right?
I mean, there's supposed to be like, I don't really know. There's like varying degrees of holy relics. Like, first degree is something from the saint themselves, and then you've got things they touched. So like a scrap of clothing that, or maybe they wipe their face with a towel or something. You're like, oh, I've got the sweat of Saint Barnabas or whatever, and it kind of goes off from there. But all of them are supposed to grant like, I don't know about like an indulgence, but like some sort of blessing or something. It's it's a lot of like superstition kind of stuff, I guess. Like someone who is wholly touched this, therefore there's lingering blessing juice, and if you touch it, you get the blessing juice on you,
and it goes double if you kiss it.
Yeah. Oh God, if you make out with it, maybe you could contract some blessing juice, and then you could make out with other people and pass the blessing juice on, And sure, it'll be diluted every time someone else makes out with someone else, but there's still that little piece of blessing juice there.
I think you just answered the question of why everybody would want Jesus's foreskin. If you're saying that relics came in levels, I mean...
Yeah, you don't get much, I mean, unless you've got like the brain of Jesus or the
Right.
heart of Jesus. Like, this is the dick of Jesus. Like,
Yeah.
make your own Jesus with that foreskin.
I've got Jesus's sandal. Fuck you, pal. I have a towel he used when he was being carried away to be crucified. Hey, fuck both you guys. I've got his fucking pee-pee piece.
Yeah.
That's bizarre and insane. That's
I can't believe that I've been talking about the foreskin of Jesus for like 20-something minutes now. This is fucking ridiculous.
yeah.
And I've said foreskin more times in this episode than I probably have in my entire life combined.
I mean, I didn't think I'd hear the words "cock of Christ" ever come out of your mouth.
Yes. Well, I'd rather have the cock of Christ coming out of my mouth than going in.
Thank you for listening to the Whatcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, and YouTube. Enjoy the podcast. Get yourself a Whatcast t-shirt or a sticker pack. Who was that dude on that one episode? Try the links in Homie's page. All this and more can be found at www.thewhatcasters.com. Thanks again for listening and have a great week.